Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another anime review. And once again, I'd like to share my thoughts on the Black Clover anime with the Heart Kingdom Joint Struggle arc, as well as the beginning of the Spade Kingdom Raid arc, which consists of episodes 158 to 169. Now, I know the anime ends at 170, but I need to do a separate video talking about that because there's so much to get to with that particular episode, as well as give some final thoughts and predictions for the series. So stay tuned for the final video in this review of Black Clover. So anyway, it starts off with the 6 months of training having passed and our heroes all looking noticeably different. For instance, Asta is no longer wearing his shirt. He's just wearing his Black Bull's robe and he has muscles on top of muscles. And there's a funny scene where Noelle and Mimosa are call him Absta. It's like, put a shirt on. It's hilarious. And there's the rivals in love there. Like Mimosa is pretty open about it, but Noelle is like, oh, I hate Asta. But she really likes him. So there's that cute little scene. He's just jacked as ever. Noelle, she had the pigtails, and still has them, and the bangs, but also has this other hair coming down there. Mimosa has a braid in her hair now, and Leopold actually cut his hair. So everyone has a little bit of a different makeover. And mind you, when the series started, all these characters were 15 and now they're 17. So 2 years have passed since they began their journey and they've increased in their abilities and have to change their looks as well, right? So I like that touch. I thought that was cool. And it starts off, they're training with the 5 spirit guardians, particularly Gaja, and with Queen Lorapechka of the Heart Kingdom, getting ready to attack the Spade Kingdom before the Spade Kingdom attacks them, when they find out that there's this mechanical moving fortress from the Spade Kingdom making its way across the strong magic region, to which Asta's like, I'll take care of them all. And he has this new ability to use his Mana Zone, despite not having magic. He has the anti-Mana Zone, where he can fly on his fucking sword. And I just think that's hilarious, because in the very first few episodes, he couldn't even fly on a broom, but now he can fly on his sword. And it's just so cool. And he makes his way there, and they find out that they're using the peasants of the Spade Kingdom, draining their magic energy to power this mechanical fortress, and Asta liberates the people, and, dispatches of the Spade Kingdom, jamokes real quick, and defeats one of the Dark Disciples, who have some devil powers that were given to them by the Dark Triad, the big bads of this arc, and possibly the big bads of this series. So I'll tell you about the Dark Triad. They've been hinting at them for a very long time here, and here you have them, the Dark Triad, particularly the 3 Zogratis siblings, who are all possessed by devils, and then their underlings, the Dark Disciples. Now, we've seen Xenon in the past. He was actually in one of the openings, where he was doing the anime walk. You saw his back and then his head turn. And we actually saw a quick shot of him when he destroyed the whole Diamond Kingdom. And I think it was Magna, Luck, and Vanessa were watching. They're like, oh, we can't beat this guy. And he looks pretty tough, man. Now, the leader, it's implied that Dante is the leader of the Dark Triad. You have Xenon, obviously, right? And they both have 2 different magical attributes. He uses both bone magic and spatial magic. You have Vanica, the cute devil girl. I mean, look at her, man. Who uses both blood magic and curse warding magic, meaning that curses don't affect her. And then Dante, who uses body magic and gravity magic. Now, he has the crown on his head. And when they're doing she has a crown on her head too, but he doesn't. When they're doing their meetings, he's in the middle. So it's implied that he's the leader, but after watching all this, I think you could make the case that Xenon is the leader. So also, again, I mentioned this, the manga illustrations are much better than how they look in the anime. I'm going to have to go back and read the manga, because I've only watched the anime. Plus, this arc is in full swing in the manga, so I'll have to definitely go back. And as for the voices, they all do a fantastic job with their voices. Xenon, I found this funny. He's voiced by a guy named Zeno Robinson. That's hilarious to me. Vanica is voiced by Lindsay Seidel. And then you'll all know Dante's voice. He's voiced by Patrick Seitz, who has done a lot of anime and video games. Most recently with video games, he did the voice of Zephyr in Tales of Arise. And as far as anime, I know him as Loxus in Fairy Tail. But he has that voice. It's very menacing. It's like, oh my god, his voice is great casting for the voice actors for the Dark Triad. So these guys mean business, and they're in charge there. So what happens is it cuts to a guy leaving the Spade Kingdom with a group of others, and they all have their hoods on, like trying to escape. They're essentially there getting information about the Spade Kingdom, and they're making their way, and they're being attacked, basically being told not to let them flee. And they all give their energy to this one guy, Ralph, to make his escape. And as Ralph's making his escape, he makes his way to Hajj village, muttering, "We must protect Prince Yuno!" So all the plot threads that started really early in the series are finally coming together now. And we learn that this guy, he tells the story of Yuno, how Yuno is actually Prince Yuno Granbelial. I believe that's his name. Forgive me if I mispronounced it. But Yuno was the son of the king and queen of the Spade Kingdom, who were murdered many years ago when he was just an infant by the Zogratis siblings, who all, like I said, possess devils. Xenon has the devil Beelzebub, Vanica has the devil Mergicula, and Dante has the devil Lucifero. So, holy shit, dude. Those are like all real, like Lucifer and Beelzebub. I mean, those are fucking devils and demons, man. I don't know about Mergicula, but could be. So, as all this is happening, Sister Lily's taking him in because he's a dying man at Hajj Village, and then summons Yuno to see what's up, and basically that's where they learn the whole deal about Yuno's lineage. And that's actually why Yuno is so gifted in terms of magical abilities, because he's royalty. He's the prince of the Spade Kingdom. So that's why he has the Self Spirit and all that. And then he figures out that the Golden Dawn is under attack, and Xenon makes his way to the Golden Dawn and basically kills everybody. Everybody is trying their best to stand up, and you have Koss being the last one to make the last stand, and they all die. He uses the bone magic, fucking impales them all. It's like real blood, like this whole last arc, these last 15 episodes or so, there's blood everywhere. They're cursing, like, I don't know how many times they're like, "You bastard, shit." They're like literally cursing. And this show was on, well, it's on Toonami, and obviously I think it's on Crunchyroll and all that, but it's simulcast on actual television on Toonami. So I mean, it's on at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's still on Cartoon Network or whatever. And I thought it was pretty crazy, like, bastard, shit. If I was watching this when I was 10, 12, 13, 15, I'd be like marking out like crazy. I'm still marking out like crazy. So as all this is going on, Xenon sort of reveals his plan, how they want to basically get the tree of what the hell is it called? It was the tree of Qlipoth, which I'll show you what this looks like. Because I'm not really too religious, but I think this is like an inverted tree of life, to be honest with you. You know? And obviously they have like the demonology, all the names, it's like satanic, man. I wonder if Tabata, the mangaka behind the series, really did his research. So, to do that, they need both the tree magic that William Vengeance, the captain of the Golden Dawn, has, and the dark magic that Yami Tsukihiro, captain of the Black Bulls, has. And while William is being taken away, Yuno comes up and makes his last stand, to which he gets stabbed right through the heart by Xenon, and Xenon mocks him in his voice too. He's like, "It's not that you aren't powerful, it's that I'm only using 40% of my power, and I'm that much more powerful." And it's like, holy shit, dude. It's like flashbacks to Dragon Ball Z and Frieza. "I'm only using 1% of my power." But just the way he has like a really calm voice about it. And it's like, holy shit, dude. I was getting goosebumps there. And so, as he takes William away, Sylph, or Bell rather, the wind spirit, is crying over Yuno, and a tree from Vengeance erupts and revives some, but not all, of the members of the Golden Dawn. So, typically in these anime, particularly shonen shows, people will have fake out deaths, they'll die and they'll be revived, but here there are ramifications, because while Klaus, I think Klaus should have died, to be honest with you, but he does get revived. Of course, you have someone like Hammond and Alec Dora who are dead. So I thought that was like, holy shit, there's actually ramifications there, characters that we've seen throughout, and they're not coming back, and they're lying there, blood all over, and it's terrible. So crazy stuff right there. Meanwhile, the Heart Kingdom is being invaded, and we have people making their stand. Noelle, who has her, I showed you that armor last time, the Valkyrie armor, where, it gets like the blue, sort of like water around her, and she's doing battle. And then it cuts back to the Black Bulls, who are stationed in the strong magic region as a barrier to protect the Clover Kingdom, but it's not the whole crew there. We have Yami and Finral elsewhere doing God knows what, we have Zora and Magna, who are doing training on their own. Gordon is still with his father doing his training, so they're not back yet. But with the Black Bulls, we have Gray, Gauche, Henry, and Vanessa. And they get ambushed by Dante. And my dude, he fucking comes running in there like that, just breaks through. And it's not necessarily that they're the jobbers, because Vanessa is able to keep them all alive with Rouge, with the thread of destiny. But, not the strongest. And Dante is making quick work of them. When finally Asta figures out, somehow he figures out that he needs to make his way over there, which he does. And same with Yami to do battle with him. And that's when they run into Dante transforming into his fucking Lucifero form. Like that. Holy shit. And he's battling, just beating the ever-living hell out of them all. And actually manages to form a blade which impales Gauche. And we get this great flashback scene of Gray as a young girl who was adopted to sort of like a royal house and being mocked for her looks. That's why she was always so nervous. And it was actually Gauche who she ran into for the very first time and sort of gave her the resolve to join the Black Bulls. And there's sort of like a feelings there because she starts crying and is in love with Gauche and is able to use her magic, which she can use to transform. And it's been established that she can make other objects transform into different things. So she's able to transform the blade that impaled Gauche and to make it disappear, and also heals his wound in the process. And as Dante's observing, he says that he wants to take both Vanessa and Gray with him because they're arcane mages and they'll be excellent to his puzzle. And at that point, we have Yami show up. Here's just like some promotional art with that. Yami shows up ready to do battle. Right? So he's battling Dante, and Dante is just fucking beating the ever-living hell out of them all, and he can continue the body magic, like I mentioned, he can use to recover all his wounds. And he's getting his ass kicked, and for the first time in the battle, like throughout the whole series, Yami would refer to Asta as kid. Hey kid, over here, come over here kid, I need your help kid. And for the first time, Yami says, Asta, I need your help. And it's like, holy shit, because Asta was getting his ass kicked as well. And Asta gets up and joins him in the battle. And Yami's blade, the katana, manifests in Asta's grimoire. And they're continuing their battle against him. Everyone's joining in. And not enough. And what happens is Asta has like an internal struggle with the devil inside him. Where he has to deal with the devil. And he says, I need more power. I'll give you my arm. And he fucking gives the arm to the devil. And Asta's arm turns like a mixture of both black and red to gain more powers. And he grows like this devil tail and horns on both sides and a wing. It's like, holy crap, dude. And they're battling Dante, but it's not enough, man. So, what happens in the end, because they keep beating the shit out of him, but then he keeps reviving himself, and it's just crazy. So Xenon eventually arrives on the battlefield with his bone magic. He has, what's the guy's name? Where is it? Here it is. Right, so Xenon has vengeance from before, and after all the battles, he takes fucking Yami with him too to get the Tree of Cleofoth. And basically, in the midst of the battle, Dante reveals that they need both of them to form this key, the tree rather, and it'll open the gates of the underworld to let all the devils from the underworld come out into the open and fucking just wreak havoc. So, just crazy shit right there. And then as it continues to go on further, we meet this other guy named Noct, who appears, and he's actually the vice captain of the Black Bulls, who was working as a spy for the Spade Kingdom, and actually has devils himself. He has 4 devils with him, and let's see where they all are. He can take all their various forms to use. And basically, after all this happens, he tells Asta, look, we need to do all this training and figure out a way to get in the Spade Kingdom to rescue them, because we got 2 days for the ritual to take place. They're going to sacrifice both their lives for the Tree of Cleofoth to be revived. So just some crazy shit right there. And, then I forgot to mention, too, we have Vanica and Mergicula facing off against Lorapechka and Noelle, and actually Undine, the water spirit, dies in battle. And Mergicula, rather, Vanica, one and the same, they capture Lorapechka and are ready to use the Dark Disciples, because there's like 5 Dark Disciples in the Heart Kingdom battling the other wizards. You have, Luck, you have Charmy doing battle, you have Leopold, etc., etc. They're all doing battle, and they're all about to explode, right? But Gaja is able to save them, and when they wake up, they find that they're in the strong magic region in the north, home of the elves, the few surviving elves consisting of Patri, Raya, Veto, Fauna, and then the ancestors of Tetia, which is like, holy crap, dude, Tetia and Lick. So the elves save the day there, and then Nock says that he's going to train Asta, and they have like an emergency captain's meeting to decide who's going to go into the Spade Kingdom. We have 2, because Nock knows everything, because he was a spy in the Spade Kingdom for all these years, and he has all these papers, all the demonic rituals and rules and whatnot, and he shows them that he has the 4 devils that he can use at a moment's notice, and they figure out who they're going to send in, and of course the first guy to step up is Jack. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go in there. If anyone's going to be slicing Yami, it's going to be me. And of course, like, all the captains are going to join in. You got Nozel and Fuegoleon ready to join the fight. Asta's ready to go. And at this point now, Asta doesn't have an arm because he gave the arm to the fucking devil inside him, which I'll talk about in episode 170. But, dude, it was fucking awesome. The whole battle with Dante, first Dante versus the jobbers of the Black Bulls, and then Dante versus Asta and Yami was fucking epic. And then Xenon just obliterating everybody. And then the revelations about Yuno's past and how he's the prince of the Spade Kingdom after all. Oh my god, dude. This series is so good, man. You have to watch it. It is fantastic. And I know I've mentioned in the past it's difficult in the beginning to watch because of like how annoying Asta's voice is, but he grows on you. And I really do think that is worth watching. Once you get about 50 episodes in, it's a breeze. Like, it took me a while to get for the first 50 episodes, but then I was watching like 10 episodes a day. And I watched this whole arc in one sitting. I'm going to rewatch it, and I actually watched episode 170 3 times, and I'll probably watch it again, because 170, so much good stuff there with the music. That's another thing, too. Like, in all the battles, the music is fucking epic. And I can't wait to see what happens next. I hope you guys check out my final review of the series for episode 170, as well as final thoughts. And I do believe I will read the manga, because how can I not now? Just also, I mentioned too, the manga drawings look better than the anime, so I gotta catch up, because the Spade Kingdom is still going on in the manga now. That's why they had to cut the anime short, because the anime ends on chapter 270, and they're on like chapter 310 right now, so they got so close to the manga catching up. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for my final review of episode 170 coming soon. Have a great day, everybody.